The question that came to the ministry is the question number 8 by Senator Eddie Okech. I read, MP on status of compensation of landowners who granted well leave for the Lower Kuja Irrigation Development Project. Honorable Senator, I would provide list as requested. I submit.
So, if I get you correctly, Honorable CS, is that the question that was sent to you did not request for a list to be provided?
Yes, Honorable.
Is that your position?
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Okay, we will come back to that because I've requested the clerk to retrieve the original question that was dispatched to your office so that we get to know exactly where the problem lies.
Provide list, Jama.
So, Honorable CS, has the clerk assisted you to
Yes.
see the pro forma?
Yes.
That came from the Senate.
Yes.
What is the question?
Honorable Speaker, my apologies, and to the Honorable member, and to the House. Sorry, I am new to the House. So, my apologies. The question that read, question number 8 by MP on status of implementation of landowners who granted well leave for the Lower Kuja Irrigation Development Project. There was an attachment, as I've been guided by the clerk, that could the Cabinet Secretary provide a list of landowners who granted? That is noted, and Honorable Speaker, we can submit that as required. But the question number B, on why has the government not paid out compensation to them?
Honorable CS, let me just guide you. You have not responded to the first limb of the question by the Senator for Migori. So you will have to come back before this House.
Thank you.
To respond adequately to that question. Now let's move to, because even the Honorable Senator cannot interrogate you on the first limb of that question. And therefore, let's move to B. Let us move to B, interrogate B, and then we will give guidance on when the first limb of that question will be responded to. Certainly not today. Yes, Senator Boni. Just have a seat, Senator.
I note happily that the minister has acknowledged that he's new. Mr. Speaker, limb A is the foundation of the question. And therefore, the fairest you can give him is for him to go back and come with a proper question on a different day. Otherwise, we will give him the impression that he can come to the House and answer his own question. He can only answer the questions of the House, Mr. Speaker, I request.
Very well. Honorable CS, are you in a position to respond adequately to limb 2?
Honorable Speaker.
Without providing a comprehensive response to limb 1 of the question. If your answer is yes, I will allow you to proceed. If your answer is no, let us not waste time. Let us just defer this particular question until such a time that you're adequately prepared to respond to it. Just a moment. Yes, Honorable CS.
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
I just asked.
Honorable Speaker,
Yes.
the first question was a list. The second question was, why has the government not paid out, which is what I have responded to. And the third question was, could the Cabinet Secretary explain the inordinate delay in completing the project?
Yeah, but Honorable CS, you know the substratum of this question is that list.
Okay.
So everything else flow from that list. Yes, Honorable Senator Fokitui.
Mr. Speaker, it's a sad day. It's a very sad day that a CS has gone on record on the floor of the House that he actually received questions from the Senate, but just read the covering letter. That's what he has said. That actually he just read the covering letter, he did not read the annex that contains the questions, then he went ahead to answer questions based on the covering letter. Mr. Speaker, this is a demonstration of how casually this minister and this ministry treats this House. Mr. Speaker, I want to implore you, Mr. Speaker, and I said this before, restore the dignity of this House by requiring the CS to forthwith cease from addressing this House on that matter, to go back and read the question, respond to our questions, then we can engage him. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Fanarobi.
Honorable Speaker, let us not forget that this question was supposed to be responded to a while back. You remember when the minister failed to appear in the House, and I was saying that he's an individual that I do not know at all. It's good that he has shown up today, but Honorable Speaker, you can see the frustration of the people of this country with the sort of leadership that we have. First of all, even when the minister claims that he can respond adequately to the second question, look at the response you have supplied to this House, Honorable CS, that you have consultants doing something in 2012, telling you these are the parcels of land that are affected, these are the owners of the land, and this is the amount of money that is required to be paid. You send another consultant years later to do the exact same thing, Honorable Speaker. And then a third exercise to do the same thing. And when he asks the senator for Migori, why is it taking so long? We are being told there is a verification process. The very same thing that was done in 2012. Honorable Speaker, you are also being told that completion of payment, you already have the money. You are telling us it takes 6 months to send money to 2,000 non-people. Honorable Speaker, when he says the next batch will be paid in the next financial year, August of 2025 is the next financial year. So, Honorable Speaker, what you do...
Honorable Senator,
yes,
let us agree on the way forward.
This is where I'm coming to.
Because you're interrogating the response.
This is what I'm coming to.
We have agreed here that we don't interrogate the CS on this whole question.
I'm coming to speak.
Yes.
This is what I'm coming to.
Then get there fast, because you're interrogating the response.
No, because, Honorable Speaker, you put a question to him, and I can tell you for a fact, even if he was allowed to go to the second limb, we would be more annoyed than we are right now with that response. So this CS must be told to take his work seriously, to take this House seriously, so that when he comes back here, he responds to the questions that have been posed to him. Otherwise, he can also run to be Senator of Migori, ask his own questions, and run back to his ministry to answer those same questions. Those are not the questions the people of Kuja are looking for answers for.
Now, Honorable Senators, let us make progress on this matter. We have agreed that the question by Senator Fomigori has not been responded to. The CS has proceeded to ask a question other than the one that has been asked by the Senator Fomigori. That being the case, therefore, we will defer this question, and the CS will appear before the Senate on Wednesday next week for purposes of responding to this particular question. So we now move to question number 009 by the Senator for Makueni. I hope it will not suffer the same fate.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I had asked the CS Cabinet Secretary, could the Cabinet Secretary provide an update on the status of the construction of Thwake Dam in Makueni County and explain why construction works have stalled? And B, what measures has the government put in place to ensure the timely completion of the dam, and could the Cabinet Secretary give timeline? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable CS, you may now respond.
Thank you, Speaker, and thank you, honorable members. Honorable Speaker, two questions from the honorable member. I'll give first a background on Thwake Dam in Makueni. The government of Kenya and African Development Bank, through the Ministry of Water, Sanitation and Irrigation, is implementing Thwake Multipurpose Dam project. The program involves phase 1 of construction of the 80-meter high multipurpose dam with a storage capacity of 688 million meter cubic and associated preliminary works needed to enable implementation of phase 1, phase 3, and phase 4 of the program, which involves water supply, hydropower generation, and irrigation development, respectively. The dam is a flagship project under Vision 2030, medium-term plan 2023-2027, and the better services delivery roadmap. The implementation of the program is geared towards realization of universal access to water and sanitation and food security in accordance with Article 43B, C, and D of the Constitution. Honorable Speaker, the completion of Thwake Dam construction and implementation of downstream components is critical in the realization of the semi-arid eastern region, economic viability through the harnessing of runoff during the rains, and the release of waters for various uses in Makueni and Kitui counties, among the water supply of around 150,000 meter cubic to 1.3 million people, including water supply to Konza Techno City in Machakos County, generation of 20 megawatts hydropower to boost water supply and distribution. The supply water from the dam for irrigation of around 100,000 acres downstream of the dam. Areas to be served include Watertown, Mavindeni, Kalawa, Kathonzueni sub-county, sub-urban centers in Makueni, Kanyagi, Kalulini, Dongoni, Kisiani, Kwavonza sub-urban centers in Kitui County, and provide back water supply to Konza Techno City in Machakos County with a cumulative distribution lines of approximately 800 kilometers. The sanitation services will benefit over 10,000 people in towns of Wote and Kibwezi in Makueni County with a trunk sewer line of 445 kilometers. Honorable Speaker, to respond to question number 1 on the status of construction of Thwake Dam in Makueni, the construction of the 80.5 high Thwake multipurpose dam with a capacity of 688 storage capacity is ongoing, with civil works on dam construction at around 94.2% completion level. The embankment dam filling, which is one of key components of the dam, is recorded at 99%, achieving the required level of elevation of 916 meters above sea level. The last layer was placed on 18th June 2024. The spillway progress stands at 94%, and the upstream and downstream coffer dams are completed and operational. This being a rock-filled dam structure, a period of 6 to 9 months was required from the last placement on 18th June 2024 to allow the dam embankment to settle and stabilize before the concrete face slab works are carried out as recommended by the World Dam Safety Panel of Experts, which was achieved at the end of January 2025. The remaining works are on the concrete face slab placement, which is the plaster, the spillway bridge, and hydromechanical equipment installation. The construction period was expected to end on 7th December 2024. The anticipated completion date of the dam could not be realized because of for the following reasons. There was delays in works progress because of an increase in dam height from 77.5 meters to 80.5 meter to increase storage. Weak foundation of the dam at the riverbed, which was discovered during construction, necessitating excessive excavation and special treatment. There was the pandemic, COVID-19, and Ukraine issues that resulted in scaling down of labor force and lack of explosives in the country. Then there was adequate time required to allow the dam embankment to settle before the concrete slab is done. Honorable Speaker, the increase in dam height and weak foundation at the riverbed section of the dam necessitated additional works, resulting to changes in the cost of the dam construction, which requires additional financing to complete the remaining works. The National Treasury, through the letter reference number TNT/RMT/01-237/01/01F8, dated 15th November 2024, sought for additional financing from Africa Development Bank to enable completion of the remaining works on the dam construction. The African Development Bank is currently undertaking an appraisal to determine the level of additional financing required. On question number 2, timelines for completion of the construction works on the Dwake Dam. Honorable Speaker, the remaining dam construction works are on the concrete face, slab placement, spillway bridge, and hydro-mechanical equipment installation. These works were due to commence once the dam embankment settlement rate of 5 millimeter per month and below has been achieved, as advised and adopted by the Dam Safety Panel of Experts. The Ministry and the Dam Supervision Consultant, in consultation with the Dam Panel of Experts, has been monitoring the settlement level of embankment over the last 7 months, that is from July 2024 to January 2025, based on the adopted and recommended rate of 5 millimeter per month and below threshold. Honorable Speaker, as of 30th January 2025, all settlement recordings for the critical section of the dam embankment and reduced to below 5 millimeter per month threshold and stabilized, ready to commence face slab construction. The contractor has therefore been instructed via letter reference number 5083077/2024 and NEK/13-293 dated 20th February 2025 to immediately commence execution of the remaining works on the concrete face slab placement, spillway bridge, and hydro-mechanical equipment installation. The contractor is required to ensure all remaining dam construction works are completed by 30th October 2025. The contractor has submitted a program of works on the same, which is currently being evaluated to this effect. Honorable Speaker, I submit.
Honorable Senator for Makueni, you may now ask your supplementary questions.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, I've got, although there has been an attempt to answer the question, Mr. Speaker, I have asked in A, why the construction works have stalled. Mr. Speaker, we've been told about the war in Ukraine. I have not seen the nexus, and I can confirm, as having been a member for Makueni constituency, that during the COVID times, the works never stopped at all, Mr. Speaker. What happened then was that there was, the people who are working there never left. They were constrained to that particular place and never interacted with other people. And therefore, COVID-19 and war in Ukraine, and even the so-called explosives, because I doubt whether we were exporting any explosive from Ukraine, that really ever stole the work. Mr. Speaker, this dam has stopped completely and everybody sent away in the last 1 year or so, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, I have not heard the reason as to why the dam has stalled. On B, I have asked on timelines, Mr. Speaker. I have not, in all the previous years and the other cabinet secretaries, they have said we are ending in 4 years. They have said the dam will be done on such and such a date. I have not had such a day. And although the contractor has been instructed to complete the dam, I would like to ask the cabinet secretary whether they have made payments to the contractor up to date, because I'm aware the contractor, having not been paid, completely ran out of funds and, in fact, to my own knowledge, left the country. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honorable CS, according to the Honorable Senator, you have not given reasons why the dam has stalled. And second, you have not given the way forward as to when this dam will eventually be completed. Can you proceed to respond, please?
Honorable Speaker, the Wake multipurpose dam is a rock-filled dam. A rock-filled dam, this will be the biggest dam in this country with a storage capacity of 688 million meter cubic. When you construct such a dam and you are done placing the rock fills, you give the embankment time to do what we call settlement. In that period, Honorable Speaker, when settlement of the wall is taking place, which takes, as I've indicated, takes between 6 and 9 months, you reduce the concrete face. If you place the concrete face without proper settlement of the dam, the concrete face cracks. When the concrete face cracks, you find yourself with a weak dam that is seeping. And the world experts, the World Dam Safety Panel of Experts recommends a period of 6 to 9 months. That responds to the question on why the workforce had reduced in the works. Secondly, the question on the way forward. Payments from Africa Development Bank require no objection. As of last week, I'm informed that we got the no objection from Africa Development Bank. Honorable Speaker, payments of the pending certificates are being processed. Thank you. I submit.
Yes, Senator for Kitui.
Mr. Speaker, if you allow me, I would attempt to even try to educate the CS on this dam. This dam is not just in Makueni. This dam is both in Makueni and in Kitui. In your brief, you left that out. Now you're educated. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, the CS, you say this is the first time here, but just relax, Mr. CS. You're double speaking. Double speaking because on the one hand, you're saying that the ADB, in your response, written response, the ADB is evaluating the financing gap. The second side of your mouth, you're saying the contractor has been instructed by 25th of February to be back on site. Speaker, if my calendar serves me right, we are past the 25th of February. I think this is when? This is 13th, 12th of March. So I expect that the machines are rolling. If the machines are not rolling in the Speaker, then again maybe you may also decide again for this question to stand down the CS. Because in his own submission on the 25th of February, works should have resumed in Dwake Dam. On the 12th of March, if that has not happened, then he should either revise his response or explain what has happened. So, Speaker, lastly, at some point I lent a friend of mine some money, Mr. Speaker, just little money, not a lot of money, some little money. And when I followed them up, they started talking about COVID, this COVID thing, So we had conversations until sometimes last year, they started talking about, Ukraine, this Ukraine thing. The Speaker, what is the connection between the war in Ukraine and a dam being constructed in Dwake, in Makueni and Kitui counties? The distance from Dwake Dam to Kyiv in Ukraine is 9,177 kilometers. What's the connection? What's the nexus, Mr. Speaker? I submit.
Honorable CS.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and thank you for the question. Yes, the dam will serve Makueni. It will also serve Machakos, and it's also serve Kitui. But the Honorable Member, Honorable Speaker, has asked a question about payment and how is explosives related to dam construction in Kenya. During war, our access for explosives that are required to blast the foundations of this rock bed was not very easily accessible. That slows, Speaker, that slows the progress of works.
Order, honorable senators. You have asked a question. Let the CS respond.
And
Honorable,
the dynamics.
Honorable CS.
Honorable Speaker.
Is it your position that the explosives that are meant for this dam were sourced from Ukraine?
No.
And therefore, because of the war in Ukraine, you couldn't?
No. It's a global market, Honorable Speaker.
So just proceed. Just proceed. Just proceed, honorable.
Honorable Speaker.
What? Let me help you, honorable CS. The question that has been asked by the senator for Kitui is: what is the nexus between the delayed works of this dam and the war in Ukraine? Just explain to the House the nexus between the two. And secondly, you've indicated in your written response that by 25th of February, work ought to have resumed. And the question from the senator is, are the machine now roaring? Because we are on the 12th, we are now on the 12th of March. Proceed.
Honorable Speaker, if I may respond on the question of the nexus between Ukraine war and dam construction. First, Ukraine war affected global economics. So even Kenya is part of the global economics, Honorable Speaker. The question on the letter to instruct the contractor to actually consider with the works is in the anticipation that you would get no objection from African Development Bank, which we actually have gotten. We have some uncommitted funds that we are processing payments. But to finalize this dam, that's where the appraisal comes in. Engineering projects have what we call project appraisal at different stages of execution, because cost can vary. That explains why we need to do an appraisal. It's a normal contractual implementation requirement for us, not only as a ministry, but for any engineering project of this magnitude and size. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Senator Chute. Senator Murango.
Asante sana Mr. Speaker. Swali langu ambao ningeuliza, nadhani waziri anaweza kujibu kwa sababu ni jambo ambalo limekuwa likisumbua watu wengi. Mr. Speaker, mnamo tarehe 1 mwaka wa 2023 WRA iliongeza maji kwa wakulima na wenye wanatumia maji. Na mnamo tarehe mnamo mwezi wa samba mwaka 2023 kulikuwa na agizo la mahakama ambayo ilikuja ikasimamisha watu ambao wanatumia maji ya ukulima na kukunywa wasiendelee kulipishwa maji mpaka isikilizwe. Swali yenye ningetaka kuuliza waziri, kwa nini mpaka sasa hivi wananchi wa Kenya wanaendelea kulipishwa maji ambayo iliongezewa kutoka sumuni mpaka shilingi 5 kwa kila lita ya 1000 na kuna agizo la mahakama? Hilo ndo ni swali ambalo ningetaka kuuliza waziri. Asante.
Honorable CS, just note the questions. You respond them at a go. Senator Kavindu.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question to Honorable CS is about the river, Earth River, which takes water, flows all the way to Tana, to Thwake Dam. It has a lot of dirt, and I wanted to know what Honorable CS is doing, and how far Maruba Dam has gotten now in Machakos, because it has been stored for so long, and Mwania Dam and Yata Dam also stalled, and compensation of those dams. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Sige Wakile.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I wanted to ask a question to the Honorable CS pursuant to a report Cabinet released yesterday with regards to Boston Dam, that is within the county of Bomet. And my question is with regards to the kind of an arrangement that the approval was made, whether it is a concession that will require further advertisement on the process, or it is within the earlier arrangement that had been made. The release in itself, Mr. Speaker, did not clarify the formation within which that approval was made, and I would like to know from the CS in what formation was that approval made. Thank you.
Senator Beatrice Akenye.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. To the CS, my concern about the development of the dams, and not only Thwake Dam, is why does the government begin their projects before landowners are compensated?
Senator Mundigi.
Thank you, Bwana Speaker. Asante kwa waziri kuwa leo ni siku yake ya kwanza kuja kujibu maswali, na nipongezi. Bwana waziri, katika Embu County tuko sub-county 4 na kuko na damu ambazo ni 3 inafaa injengwe kwa sababu ya kilimo ya mirasi kumuguka upande wa Mbere North na Mbere South. Kuna damu inaitwa Dhambaran Dam ambayo inaweza kusaidia kilimo ya Mbere njia hiyo kilimo, na pia kuna damu inaitwa Kamumu Dam ambayo iko Mbere North, na pia those inaweza kusaidia Runyenjes sub-county na pia Rakanithi. Ningeomba kujua waziri, hiyo kazi itaanza wakati gani ndio Embu County wakati huu iserekee kama county zile zingine 47. Asante Bwana Waziri.
Senator Eddie.
Mr. Speaker, allow me to stick on Thwake Dam because I've had very interesting comments and answers from the CS, including that this dam was stuck at explosive stage because of Ukraine war, which is very interesting because it appears to me like, because the war is still continuing, this dam is still going to be stuck at the explosive stage, and apparently, no, it's not information, I'm talking about what
Senator Eddie, would you wish to be informed by the senator from Mombasa?
The senator of Mombasa.
It's yes or no?
Yes, yes, Mr. Speaker. Let
You
me be informed. He's a senior member,
may
ranking member.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I just want to inform my brother, Senator from Migori, that the Ukraine war is about to enter into a ceasefire stage. So hopefully, in the next 1 week, there will be no war.
In the meantime, the dam can wait. But then, Mr. Speaker, my question, based on that backdrop, is very simple. What component of the Thwake Dam project was the responsibility of the Kenyan government squarely in your ministry? And what component of it was ADB component? And could you share with us the agreement that defines that component and responsibility between the national government and ADB, to the extent that then you show this house which component is lagging and which component is struggling? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Mariam. Senator Mundegi, you cannot raise a point of order when no senator is on their feet. Senator Mariam.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is, Mr. Speaker, there is 100 mega dams which the government has been promised, and out of it there is Banisa, which is Malkamari Dam, and it has not been forthcoming. I'm asking the CS, what is the reason that this has not been implemented? Thank you.
Senator Karungo. Senator Karungo.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. My question to the good CS is to give us the status update of the Githunguri and Thika water. We understand that the cabinet approved the project under the financing agreement through Danida, so we'd want to know what the status. And Mr. Speaker, we also understand that the contractor withdrew or terminated the contract on Ruiru Dam project. And after terminating the contract, the financiers withdrew, financiers from France. So is the cabinet or is the department allocating some money for this project that is the Ruiru Dam? Thank you.
Senator Omtata.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. First of all, I would like to ask the Honorable Cabinet Secretary about the dams that were to be constructed in Busia, including the Angololo Dam, the dams to control the flooding in Budalangi, and all those elaborate projects. Why is it we don't hear of them anymore? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Matthew.
My more substantive question to the CS, and I wish him well. I hear there is a cabinet reshuffle coming. I hope you survive. To the CS, I mean, it's on a light note. More specifically on the issues of Nyandarua, On the 23rd of August 2023, Honorable Speaker, President William Ruto was in Nyandarua, and there are 2 dams or 3 dams that have been a campaign tool in Nyandarua, the Kinja Dam, Marewa Dam, and the Pesi Dam. And on that specific day of 23rd of August 2023, President William Ruto said, ndani ya miezi mbili, hii damu yetu ya Pesi, I'm quoting quote unquote, hii damu yetu ya Pesi, itakuwa imeanza. I would want to know, Honorable Speaker, because it is not even now 2 months since he promised. It is now close to 2 years since he last promised. What is the status of that particular dam, specific dam, Pesi Dam, so that he does not again come next year or next election and he says again, ndani ya miezi mbili. Thank you, Speaker.
Senator George Mugaa.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On the issue of the Dhakwe Dam, Mr. CS, under the 4th schedule of the Constitution, water is largely a devolved function. Are you in a position to tell this House what engagement you've had with the county governments of Makueni and the neighboring on the utilization of this water? Thank you.
Senator Chute.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I would want the CS to tell us a story about what is happening in Marsabit in terms of sewerage system, which has delayed for the last 5 years, and the water system, which is supposed to be completed about 5 years ago. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Good. Now, Honorable Senators, if you look at our standing orders, more particularly Standing Order 51C7B, that gives the power for senators to ask supplementary questions. Our supplementary questions must be related to the original question. Now, the original question as asked by the senator from Makueni is on a particular dam. You honestly do not expect the CS seated here to have all the facts on dams across Kenya. He came here prepared to respond to a particular question, and any supplementary question must flow from the original question. And therefore, I will allow the Honorable CS to respond to the supplementary question by Senator Eddy and Senator Mugaa. The rest do not qualify to be supplementary questions. You may proceed, Honorable CS. Respond to the supplementary question by Senator Eddy and Senator Mugaa. And Senator Kavindu. Those 3 supplementary questions only.
Honorable Speaker, thank you for the opportunity. I'll start with the question on engagement with counties. The ministry works together with county governments.
That is the question by Senator who, Honorable CS? I have directed you to start with the one by Senator Eddy. You respond to the one by Senator Kavindu, and you end by responding to the supplementary questions posed by Senator Mugaa. In that order.
Then. Okay. Mongoni is not part of the work. Okay. Thank you, Speaker. The question from Honorable Senator Eddy is what is the role of, because of the varying components, the role of Government of Kenya and the role of the African Development Bank. The Thwake Multipurpose Dam is funded by the two institutions. The government as a component, which is less than 10%, and ADB as a component that is the larger scale. So that is the role. But the supervision, AFDB is just the financial. On supervision is done by the government of Kenya through the ministry. That is clear definition of roles. However, any expenditure, we are required to seek concurrence.
Yes, Honorable CS, kindly be more specific on the component that is on the shoulders of the Kenyan government and the component that rests on the shoulders of ADB.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I can give...
If he had the Senator correctly, he even requested if you could make available...
Yes, I'll give the amount.
The agreements.
Yes. The cost is financed through a concessional loan from the African Development Bank at a cost of 35.645 billion. That is from the African Development Bank. And the government of Kenya was meant to contribute 6.71 billion Kenya shillings. Those are the exact values, Honorable Speaker. There was a question on the Nairobi catchment.
Proceed, Honorable CS. Proceed.
There was a question on the DAT. That is in Athi River. And first I will clarify that dams, during design of dams, we consider what we call retention. That is a factor, and that was considered during design. However, under a different program, we have Nairobi Rivers Restoration Program that will aid in reduction of that retention of the DAT. Honorable Speaker, there was the question on our engagement with county governments, considering that water is a devolved function. And to respond to that, Honorable Speaker, is that water being a devolved function, the role of the county is to provide last mile services. However, in our relationship, intergovernmental relationship, we always engage county governments. That is the county of Makueni, the county of also Machakos, to ensure that when this is complete, and we do a phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, because those are the other phases that will actually give water for consumption by doing a 150,000 meter cubic treatment plant and a distribution network to the people of those counties, then the last mile and also service provision will automatically go to the county governments. Thank you, Speaker. I submit.
Now, Honorable CS, there is a feeling, a general feeling, which feeling I associate myself with, that this question has also not been adequately given due attention. And therefore, question number 008 and question 009 will still appear on Wednesday next week. Go prepare yourself adequately for purposes of responding to these two.
Well advised.
Yes, Senator Wakili.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I felt you were releasing the Honorable Cabinet Secretary, but then in his comments to respond to the questions which we had directed, there are other questions which you said they don't qualify pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 53, which, Mr. Speaker, I am duly directed. But I wanted to request that in terms of Standing Order number 1, because the CS seems to have been ready to answer those questions, they are relevant to the interest of the people of Kenya we represent. If and pursuant to this provision of standing order, allow him to do so, so that even as he prepares to come back on Wednesday to respond to those other specific questions approved, Kenyans will have also heard from him as to those other questions the honorable members have requested.
Honorable Senator, we only have 8 minutes to interact with the Honorable CS. 8 minutes will not be adequate for purposes of responding to the many supplementary questions, even if the CS is ready to respond to. And therefore, let the CS go back to his ministry, prepare adequately for these 2 questions, and also note to capture the supplementary questions that had been raised by honorable senators. Honorable CS, you are released to appear before this House Wednesday next week. Clerk, you may usher in the next CS.